You're listening to the 808s and Joysticks podcast, now available on Spreaker, iTunes, TuneIn Radio, and YouTube.
Welcome to episode 8 of 808s and Joysticks, the show that bridges the gap between games, music, seasoned with pop culture. I'm Tairell, and joining me today, as always, is Tom.
Once again, in the round of sort of the build-up to E3 now, everything is basically flooding in on the gaming front. And even sort of music-wise this week, there's been a lot of big releases. And we're just going to kick it off straight away and jump into sort of our speculation and rumour roundup sort of pre-E3 and what we think is going to be the rundown from the big three this year. Obviously Sony, Xbox and Nintendo. So starting with Sony, there's a lot of rumours and leaks coming out that they're basically focusing on 4 games and they're not going to show many sort of new games. I'm not sure what to think about this. Apparently there's possibilities that a Destiny 2 DLC trailer is going to be showcased at the Sony event. Bloodborne 2, Kingdom Hearts 3, and then The Last of Us 2 to close out the show.
But why? Why Destiny though?
I'm not sure. They don't seem to be focusing on any new IPs by the sounds of things that are coming out. They do have a lot of IPs that aren't released yet that they've been working on, but it's unlike Sony to go in and not have something like that. Now these are just rumours and it's all speculation, but there's a lot of people saying it, which is making me believe that this could be a thing. And I don't know if that's slightly worrying. Well,
I'm taking a look at because according to our source on segmentnext.com, apparently Sony is they're going to have a slew of games that have already been announced, but there's just going to be a lot of trailers and gameplay trailers for all these games. But I think the main 4 that they're focusing on, or correct me if I'm wrong, Tom, is Death Stranding, Spider-Man, Last of Us 2, and Days Gone. I think those are like the 4 main ones that they're really going to focus on this E3. But they're also going to show trailers for Dreams. I don't know if you remember that from like the other.
Yeah, so Dreams has been meant to be coming out for quite a long time now.
That's by the creator of Little Big Planet, Media Molecule. That's a UK-based studio, amazing studio. Little Big Planet was a really, really good game for the time. It was one of the PlayStation, cult classics that turned into a massive success. But then I'm looking at this leaked press event lineup, and apparently we're going to see Devil May Cry 5. This is all rumors and speculation, by the way.
So I've heard, just on that, I've heard Devil May Cry 5 rumors swirling around for sort of the past few months. So that could be a thing, to be honest. Whether it would be at the Sony conference or not, I don't know, but Devil May Cry 5 has been rumoured.
I know Devil May Cry 5, it's not even rumoured, it's definitely coming, because I think it was about a year or 2 ago, a voice actor put Devil May Cry 5 on their resume and took it off quickly when people started noticing that Devil May Cry 5 is obviously in production. So Devil May Cry 5 is going to be shown at some point, maybe not even at E3, but if this press event lineup, which is rumoured and got leaked, is going to be what I think it is, then yeah, Devil May Cry 5 will be announced, along with a Shenmue 3 trailer, which we know has been pushed back again. We're going to see a new Kingdom Hearts trailer with a release date. We're going to see the Final Fantasy VII remake trailer. Episode 1 apparently coming in 2019, and the demo is going to be packed in with Kingdom Hearts 3. We don't know how true this is, but I could see it happening. But I was hearing there was problems at Square Enix with the Final Fantasy remake. So we're just going to have to see. Oh, also Bloodborne 2 as well. is supposed to be getting announced, which was the little teaser trailer that was shown at the Video Game Awards 2017. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to believe now, because some are saying that, 4 games are going to be focused on, and then we've got this list of games that are coming out, but they're all games that we know about. There's nothing new on this list. So I'm trying to weigh up my options, thinking, well, what is it? But then also, Blue Point Games, who did Shadow of Colossus, they've got a new remaster that they're supposed to be announcing as well for Sony.
Mm-hmm. There's quite a lot of sort of games that we know about, but then the thing is, a lot of these games have been pushed back, and we've not actually seen gameplay from a lot of the games. Mm-hmm. So if it'd be like a gameplay heavy conference where we see something like Death Stranding gameplay, more in-depth Spider-Man gameplay, which we have seen, but just a little bit more. Maybe like some more Days Gone gameplay, The Last of Us 2 gameplay. We've only seen sort of snippets of that, and then obviously Kingdom Hearts gameplay. All of that, and maybe even the Shadows Die Twice, the Bloodborne 2 sequel. If we see gameplay from that, then overall I think that's still a solid conference for Sony, even without sort of announcing a new IP.
Yeah, it's definitely solid. It's definitely a solid conference, and for them to even come out and say that we are focusing on these 4 games is quite a strong statement that they're sending out to their competitors, being Nintendo and Xbox, especially Xbox, who have little to no exclusives right now coming on their system. It's very dry, in my opinion. I don't know how you feel, Tom, but I feel like we both have PlayStations. We don't have Xbox, but it's very dry on Xbox at the moment. There's no real reason to buy an Xbox because Microsoft are doing this thing where, you can play on Windows and Xbox. Mm-hmm. So what is the point of you buying an Xbox when the exclusives are coming onto both platforms at the same time? It's, they're blurring the lines at the moment.
So that's the thing with, apparently there's like a rumored new Halo that's meant to be coming out, but there's also rumors because of tweets that Phil Spencer's put out that Halo might be coming to Xbox and PC, which means that's like their biggest exclusive that is there, and it's not going to be there.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm not entirely sure. We have heard stuff like a new Gears of War maybe for Xbox as well.
Well, referring back to our, I think it was the podcast, the last podcast that we was talking about the leaked games that Walmart did. Gears of War 5 was on there, so it leads me to believe that Gears of War 5 is coming. But Gears of War 5, that's number 5 in the series. Like, seriously, we're gonna keep going. How much more can you go? Because Gears of War 4 wasn't even received that well from the core fans or new players. So,
I mean, I don't think 5 in modern gaming is a big number anymore. Obviously, you've got like Battlefield 5 coming and stuff now. Devil May Cry 5, Far Cry 5 just came out.
I couldn't see, but those games, yeah. Do you know why I think that's different? And yeah, I agree with Devil May Cry 5 as well, but I'll get to that. The only reason why I think that it works with Far Cry and games like Battlefield and Call of Duty, and we have all these numbers and stuff like that, and these, Advanced Warfare and Black Ops 4 and, Infinity War, and, it's all these kind of things, yeah, because they come out yearly. But for a game like Gears of War that comes out every 3 to 4 years, and it's going to carry on, like, it's just like Halo as well. How many games are you going to make until you run out of steam? There's only so much you can explain and do. If I don't know. I see it that way. I don't know if you see it that way, but
I'm not sure. Like, I sort of get where you're coming from. Gears of War isn't the best game to build something like that around, but it does have a good following and everything, and people do enjoy the games.
Yeah.
It's just how long before it just becomes the same thing over and over again, I think, is what you're trying to get. Like, you are releasing a game, but I've never been a big Gears of War fan anyway.
Yeah.
But you could argue the point of what is the difference between the games, whereas things like Far Cry change it up. Gears of War doesn't seem to change that much.
No.
Just gameplay-wise.
And I know people are going to be like, well, what about the story? Well, the story's pretty redundant as well. And this Gears of War, like, it's not something that I've heard people used to rave about, like the story of Gears of War. It used to be the gameplay, the gore, like the chainsaw guns. You know what I'm saying? Like the mechanics. Well, it's the same old mechanics.
Yeah.
Or there's stripped mechanics from the game that people liked and put different ones in there, and no one enjoys them. So that's another, also Gears of War is another exclusive that can be played both on Windows and Xbox as well. So what did they really have?
Well, they're trying to get onto like the PC industry and take that by storm. Microsoft are trying to release more games like from their internal studios and stuff now, and focus on putting it out on console and PC. But you have to wonder, like, what, by doing that, how does it leave the console that they're currently marketing? Like you said, it's got no exclusives. So if someone wants to buy a console, unless they're sort of just a casual gamer, or they're not really into playing that many games and they just have a set selection that are available on both consoles, like Call of Duty, for example, or something. Then they're the sort of people that would buy an Xbox. But when you've got games like Spider-Man, Kingdom Hearts, Days Gone, Horizon Zero Dawn, Yakuza.
Kingdom Hearts is on Xbox as well, by the way. It's the first ever Kingdom Hearts to be on Xbox.
Yeah, but all the prequels aren't on Xbox.
Yeah, which is so
stupid. If you wanted to play Kingdom Hearts 3 but also play the old ones at the same time, then you'd have to get a PlayStation still. So yeah. I see what you're saying, but it's like the amount of games that are exclusive to one platform, and you've got the choice of console. I'm not including Switch in this because that's sort of a different ballpark to me, because I own both a PlayStation, a Switch, and a PC. But I get all the things that I need. I can play basically every game that comes out that I want to play, no matter what console it's on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas if you have an Xbox, you sort of limit yourself to not being able to do that. And Xbox and Microsoft don't really seem to be pushing to try and fix that much. Whether they decided that they lost this generation ages ago and they're just sort of trying to plan for the next generation, I'm not sure. But it would be nice for them to release a good IP. I do like the fact they're bringing stuff to PC though, because it does mean that I don't have to get an Xbox to play exclusive games.
Yeah, you see, I feel like it really benefits PC players, and I think it's really good that like PC players now can actually play some of the Microsoft exclusives, because they don't have to go out, as you said, to buy an Xbox. But it just also makes them releasing the Xbox One X really redundant, because people's PCs are way more powerful than a One X, and they're saying it's the most powerful console out there. No, people's PCs are the most powerful console, and they're running your games a lot better. So
yeah, but
it just goes to show.
I think it's the fact that it's the most affordable thing that would give that sort of output. And to like, so you've got to think the majority of people that would buy an Xbox there's not like a majority of them that I would call like hardcore gamers. Like a lot of people that have consoles. I'm not saying that everyone that has a console is a casual gamer, but a lot of people will buy a console and play like a few games on it. And they might have PlayStation Plus or Xbox Live and get free games every month and play those games as well. But they wouldn't go out and buy, say, 30 games a year or something. Or, like, eagerly await a game that's coming out, like, every month or so. So I think that's where it differs a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I do understand from a business sense. Maybe Microsoft might be doing the right thing in the long haul, trying to get in on the PC market, but Steam is so massive, it's going to be so difficult to get into their market, even try and touch EA with their Origin platform as well. So,
well, they do it all through the Microsoft Store, don't they?
Yeah, which is shit as well, because I heard you have to download the game as an app, and I heard they don't work that great.
Yeah, you do. The only time I've used it is for the Sea of Thieves beta, and it doesn't. It's okay, but it's not Steam, and that's the thing. If you're used to using something like Steam,
yeah,
then you don't want to have to keep going to this app store or whatever. You literally just want to be able to start your game up and not have pop-ups saying you're on Windows Live or whatever and stuff like that. You literally just want sort of the gaming experience. So Steam gives you that where you can speak to people through Steam and have your overlay and stuff like that, and all your friends are in one place rather than having to connect it up to an Xbox account and stuff like that.
See, but yeah, that's the problem. With things like that, you have to connect it all around, and it's just long. And people are already familiar with Steam, and fair enough, because Xbox actually just did partner with Discord, didn't they? So that's a great thing for them, for partnering with Discord, because now Discord is integrated into Xbox as their voice chat. So I guess we'll see. Maybe Xbox is doing the right thing. Maybe they won't even have a console after this. Maybe they will just try and focus on PC. Who knows? Because we actually don't know. The only one who we do know about is this is nothing to do with E3, but I thought we might as well just talk about it. That PlayStation 5 is on the cusp of releasing, according to a lot of reports and analysts and stuff like that. And I know, Tom, you said that you expected the PlayStation to be coming sooner than you think.
I've heard rumours that development kits for PlayStation 5s have been sent out, and people have been using them to start looking at developing games on it. And I think it was last week now, the chairman of Sony, or someone high up in Sony, did actually say that the PlayStation 4 is reaching the end of its lifespan within the next year or two. Which definitely lines up to show that there's a PlayStation 5 on the way. It's just where they're going to announce it. Are they saving that for this E3, or are they having a soft E3 now to end, and then next year is going to be their massive E3 where they announce the PlayStation 5 and all these new games that are coming on launch?
But I think... How do you think this is going to work, though, Tom? Because I'm thinking they're going to definitely have to do backwards compatibility.
Yeah, so the thing is that the Pro only just came out, probably a year or two ago now. But for a console lifespan, it's a big upgrade, because it was classed as the next big console. Although, it's sort of the same as when they used to release the slim versions of stuff. Because obviously, they slimmed down the PlayStation 4 after release anyway. But I don't know if the future of consoles now, instead of having a slim version, you have a Pro version. Yeah. Just to elongate the lifespan of the console for a little bit. They have been around for quite some time now. I think it's 5 years. So
the Pro hasn't.
No,
been
not
around
the Pro.
for 5
Just the PlayStation 4 in general.
Oh yeah.
It's around 5 years. So that's normally the the lifespan of a console is more sort of 6 to 7 years. So you're coming towards the end of the lifespan now, which we are, and as we all know, because of the Pro and the Xbox One X or Project Scorpio, obviously console hardware has also come on in that time as well, for them to be able to make something a lot better that's more affordable. And obviously HDR and 4K and 2K and stuff now is like massive. It's actually like relevant that people can play that. So
yeah,
I'm going to guess that the PlayStation 5 would have HDR and 4K support from launch, backwards compatibility, possibly like external hard drive support, other things as well that weren't possibly included in like the software for this console. Like they should come with better software next time, I think. PlayStation.
Yeah, because I feel like they stripped a lot of good features out of the PlayStation 4 that they had on the PlayStation 3, like custom themes and stuff like that. Like they just stripped a lot of it. Like there's so many other things you could do to your PlayStation 3. Now I think about it, like it was so much more customizable. But then like when the PlayStation 4 came out, they made it quite strict, like in what you can do. But I feel like that's because they were scared that they were going to get hacked again, like, which they have anyway. They've been compromised many times.
No,
like PlayStation's got the.
I think it's more them trying to sell stuff on the marketplace.
You think it's more to do business wise?
So you've got to remember that, like, forgetting PS2, because like you could play online on PS2, but it wasn't the online experience of playing on PS3.
Yeah.
And the big thing last time, when consoles were coming out and stuff, was always online play and like HD graphics and everything trying to look really good, powerful, 60 FPS, whatever. Obviously, like the console didn't have 60 FPS when it came out, but the Pro did. And stuff like, basically it was just all about online and making the online experience the best it could be. Yeah. And going forward then into the next console generation, like they've got that now, and crossplay should be a thing, hopefully, for next generation, for all consoles and PC. And then from there, it's just about basically trying to put it on standard with the PC at a more affordable price, graphics wise.
Yeah.
And frame rate, I reckon, will be a thing as well. Like, I think
everyone's...
60 FPS on console should definitely be a thing now if they're moving up to 4K.
60 is on the PlayStation 4. I know a lot of games do run in 60. It was the Xbox that was struggling to get things to run at 60 on most of their games, and even some third-party releases had to drop their games down to 30 so it could run on both consoles. And it was usually people saying that had problems with running with the Xbox. That's why the One X was made, in order to handle some of that, even though some games still can't run 60 frames a second on the Pro or even on the One X. So
which is what I mean. Like, if you compare that to a PC, then there's still something to be caught up with there in sort of console computer, like the war against each other.
Do you know what I think as well? That I think Sony and Microsoft really want to try and get into the competitive gaming scene as well, which needs solid frame rates to play competitive games. They're trying to, get into the whole mobile market. Smite is on like consoles and stuff like that. I feel like they're really trying to get into that, because that's a lot of money right there to be made if you can get a good competitive game to be playing solely on consoles. The only ones really that do that are the fighting games like Dragon Ball and Street Fighter and Tekken are usually played on consoles, but sometimes they're also played on PC as well, just due to it being a lot more stronger, like frames, the only other solid gameplay.
Yeah, the only other thing would be like esports as well. So like FIFA, NBA, stuff like that is played on consoles mainly.
Mainly, yeah, it is. There mainly is console players on there. I wonder why is that? Do you think it's just because people don't really?
It's because basically not a lot of people actually play sports games on PC. Console's like the biggest base for them, so I think everyone's comfortable playing on console.
Oh, okay. I've just never really thought about that. Like, I know sometimes you have played like FIFA and PES on your PC.
Yeah.
But you said it's just like you'd rather play on like a console, though.
Yeah, so the online's not anywhere near like as good or competitive. It also depends because obviously everyone, if you play on console, you can't play on a mouse and keyboard as well or something.
Yeah.
Which you probably shouldn't be doing that on sports games anyway, but
no,
it's up to the people.
Some people gotta work with what they got in it.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, I know we kind of went off tangent there, but we did cover a lot of things we did want to cover anyway. Xbox are gearing up for its biggest E3 yet, even though they did say this last year. It's going to be 2 hours long, which is going to be boring, because I remember when there was one Xbox conference. Do you remember that year when it was so boring? Like, it just went on forever, and they were just showing nothing. Like, it was so boring.
Which year was that?
I can't remember when it was.
This is one. Sounds like every year.
Nah, there was one year when they were actually doing pretty good.
There's one when they announced Sunset Overdrive. That was like a decent year.
Yeah, that was decent because that was when the Xbox One just came out. It's pretty decent. But there was
obviously you
so
should mention. I think Crackdown 3. That game might be coming soon. Who knows?
Man, Tom, Crackdown 3 is supposed to be coming.
Well, apparently it's going to be
last November. No one cares about that game. Do you know how outdated it looks? It looks so outdated.
There's that Recall that they announced like last year as well, isn't there? But
Recall's out.
Is it out?
That came out, you know. Yeah, Recall came out. It did.
Did it flop?
It sold about. I think it sold really poorly. It went like triple tinfoil. Like, it was fucking terrible. Like, it didn't sell well at all.
But I have to wait and see what actually comes of it, to be honest. I'm not expecting too much. But I think we should move on and talk about Nintendo and what's to be expected from them. I'm actually really excited for this press conference. Mainly because of one game, and that's Pokemon. And we've covered it a lot of times on the podcast now. But
yeah,
there was some new news the other week that Pokemon is going to be a remake of Pokemon Yellow, because it's the 20th anniversary of Pokemon Yellow, and it's going to be called Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, and it's going to be it's going to have like slight Pokemon Go based mechanics in it. That's like rumors. I'm not sure about that. It will have Pokemon Go integration apparently, which I don't think it's compulsory, but if that is a thing, then to be honest, I'm quite like down for that. I'd like to be able to like play cross mobile and Switch. I think that'd be quite cool. Even if it's like little Easter eggs or something that play across a game, it might get me back into playing that game for a little bit. But then also is the fact that the leaked screenshots that came out of a trainer riding the Lapras, and it was on a Switch, and everyone was like, "Oh, that's just like an old screenshot." If you do look closer at it now, it does look like the same map layout as sort of Pokemon Yellow, the old like Kanto region.
Yeah. So
I think it definitely is a thing. I think they've kept the same sort of art style as Sun and Moon, but they've obviously increased the graphics, made it a little bit more 3D, and it's just going to have the one screen. And I'm all for having Pokemon on one screen, not two screens, because I really didn't like when playing on DS when you had to have two screens. It wasn't a thing that was for me. I'm used to playing on one screen with Pokemon. That's sort of what I grew up with. That's what I imagine the series like.
Yeah, and that's what you expect. Yeah, I understand.
But I also think that I think this is definitely a thing. Like, the rumors are intensely high. Nintendo have registered a trademark for the website. Loads of material has been made with the Pokemon Pikachu and the Pokemon Eevee like together on t-shirts and new merchandise that's coming out a lot from the Pokemon company. So it does show that there's obviously something there, because they've not really been paired together that much before.
No,
and now
didn't we also see like one of the concept artists, or like an artist that worked with Nintendo, release some kind of like concept art for the game as well?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think it was the title that got released or something. But yeah, it looks good. I'm going to be excited for that. That's a game that I definitely want to play. I definitely like the fact that they're going back to their old region, like Pokemon Go did, and then like start afresh. Because I know that it's like, I would like to play from the point of view of like, say, I think it would be Gen 8 or Gen 9 now.
It's Gen 8 would be the next generation. Yeah.
So I would like to jump in like at that, but then there's also a lot of Pokemon now that I haven't like ever even seen before. Yeah. So I think on a new console and taking a new approach to it, like they did with Pokemon Go, that obviously worked well for them. This is hopefully like going to be their big reboot in 3D that they hope will work and bring more people back to the series, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I remember before you said these things before. I remember I said I was dead set against it. I just wanted something totally new from Pokemon. I wanted something along the lines of Colosseum. But now that I've seen all the material that's been like, been leaked or whatever, and me and you discussed it more, and you've like explained your thoughts and feelings on why you would enjoy the game, I think it is good. Yeah, it's a good addition to the new console. If we're gonna do it 3D, it's only right to try and go back to like, some of the first games. Mm-hmm. And I'm surprised she didn't do red and blue.
Well, I think it's more because it's Yellow's 20th anniversary, and also the fact that Yellow was the first Pokemon game that allowed the Pokemon to follow you. And Sun and Moon brought in a lot of features where instead of TMs and stuff and HMs, you summon, I don't know what it's called, but basically you could ride your Pokemon in 3D on the screen instead of having to use a TM to like fly to a certain place or something.
Yeah, like instead of having to use like, I don't know, fly or cut and
stuff
like that. Yeah.
So I think sort of taking the old series, the old like game series that everyone sort of played as like one of their first games if they were a Pokemon fan back in the day.
Yeah.
To take that, and obviously everyone knows the original Pokemon, but to take that and like redo it, I think is really good for the series in general.
Yeah.
Mainly for the fact that it's also got a big nostalgia feel to it, where for ages everyone was like, why can't we get a 3D version of this? Like, why are you not going to make this on Nintendo 64? Why are you just bringing out Pokemon Colosseum? Like, it is sort of the game that everyone wanted. So I'd expect numbers to be high for it. And I'd also expect it to be a console seller, to be honest. Like, way more than Super Smash Bros. If it's a remake of the old game.
I think it is a console seller. I'm still sticking to my guns though. I think Super Smash Bros. Is a console seller and will sell consoles.
I do think that's also a console seller, but I just think bringing back the original Pokemon for a 3D version.
Especially if they bundle it in with like a GameCube controller. That's crazy. That's going to sell so many consoles.
But there's rumours about that as well, but they might release something about that at E3. The only other stuff, I know that there's a new Star Fox game coming out called Star Fox Grand Prix.
Boo. No one wants any Star Fox.
But it's, so it's the team that was responsible for Donkey Kong Country Returns, and I think Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze port to the Switch. But it's a team that used to work behind like Metroid Prime. And
Okay. I'm gonna rescind my boo because Metroid Prime was hard.
And it's based off like Diddy Kong Racing. So it's like a single player racing game with a story mode and stuff.
Ooh.
Which is like so it's a little bit like Mario Tennis Aces that's coming out next month. where it's got a story mode in the tennis game, and I seen the trailer for that. I was like, I think I might get that, because it's weird. I like playing games like that, but then to have like a story mode in it, it adds something different that you can play without having to just literally play tennis matches all the time.
Yeah.
But I like what they're doing with it. I really do. There's also rumours that Doom 2 is going to be like a fully multi-platform release and will be coming to the Switch. And then The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD is apparently going to make its way to the Switch. There's a rumour. Whether that means Wind Waker and Twilight Princess move over as HD ports from the Wii U as well, because we've seen that with Donkey Kong. Then we'll have to wait and see. And also, like, announce emulation on the Switch. Because I know Pokemon's coming out, but I'd like an original Pokemon game on the Switch, please. Like,
well, I know it's capable of emulation. People have said I've looked around.
Well, it definitely is capable of emulation, because that's what it's doing with the NES games that they're bringing to the online system.
Yeah, it's definitely capable of emulation, and also in the parts and stuff that it's using, I think it could emulate up to a GameCube. So it should be able to run all those things fine. Actually, not even up to GameCube. I can't see why it could run a game like Doom and not run like things from the Wii and the Wii U as well. So we'll just have to see what Nintendo's even going to do, like, in terms of that. But also, I think Fortnite is going to get announced for it. I don't know why, but I just got a really big feeling that it is, and it makes sense to put Fortnite on the Switch too.
Yeah, I mean, it's been rumored, and I just sort of thought it was, it's going to happen. It's definitely going to happen, but Nintendo will announce it themselves rather than Epic.
Yeah,
because that's what Nintendo do.
To be honest, I don't really give a shit about it.
Yeah, I probably won't.
It's just everywhere.
I won't get the game on.
It's going to be free anyway.
Free, but I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna play it.
Yeah, it's just everywhere now, and I just can't be bothered to see it as much as we've already seen it. There's a couple more games we could run down the rumor list. Metro Prime 4 gameplay, apparently. Yoshi had his own title released. We haven't seen anything from that yet. Fire Emblem. There was a lot of games that were announced at the end of their direct last year that they haven't shown off yet. So I'm assuming that it's going to be shown off this year. Also, people are speculating that they're going to launch some first-party Wii U and Wii games as well for the Switch.
Maybe. So there's a lot of stuff like that, and I like the fact that they are looking at stuff like that. But I would like more stuff on the eStore, old emulation wise, because obviously now they've changed the system of you don't have to rebuy it on every single console. There's also rumours that there's going to be like an updated version of the Switch at some point, but those rumours have seemed to die down now, so I'm not too sure.
I felt like those rumours have died down now, because I don't know if you've seen the news. In Japan, they announced a new bundle where they just sell the Switch on its own, no dock, no nothing, just the Switch. So maybe that was what people heard in the rumours. Is this another illusion from Nintendo, or they're going to drop the 3DS? I don't know.
I don't think they'll drop the 3DS yet, but I think in a year or so.
They said they're going to support it fully till 2019 and beyond, which is a weird thing to say, because why would you say 2019 and beyond? Why wouldn't you just say we're just going to support it?
I think because obviously they announced some games that are coming to the DS still, but I think they're waiting to see what actually comes from it. I don't think they're making a decision now that they're going to stop supporting it in, say, 2020. They're just sort of 2019, then we'll reassess it and beyond. So come 2020, we could end it, or come 2022, we could end it then.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough.
But
you got any more like rumors or hopes or anything for Nintendo?
If I could get Game Boy games on the Switch, that would be amazing. I don't know if that will happen. Even like some GameCube games, like it'd be nice to play something like that on my Switch. Apart from that, I'm not really like hoping for too much. I can't see too much happening. I like the idea of the Star Fox game. And then Pokemon is obviously, again, the big thing that I'm really interested in. And if that could be released by the end of this year, then I'd be extremely happy with that.
Yeah. I want to see some more like touchscreen games, to be honest, on the Switch, because I know it has touch capability. I want to see some more. Let's see what they can do with the touchscreen.
There's a lot of touchscreen stuff that's on the eStore. Games that you can play in portrait and stuff. But I don't think it's best designed for touchscreen. The other thing is, actually, what I would like to come to it is like actual media apps. So YouTube, Netflix, stuff like that. Yeah. And
I feel like they're not going to announce that or do anything to do with that until their network service is fully released. I feel like that's when they're going to try and, all right, you want like Netflix and the apps and that, like we're releasing our internet service now. Do you know what I mean? But that we could see that at E3 because that's a really important thing.
I mean, we probably will. The prices for it as well are like extremely, extremely good.
Oh yeah, very reasonable.
We've discussed it before, and you could host you could have like a family plan and pay like £10 for the whole year between 4 of you. So it's like £10 each, £40 for the year. Like, it is pretty good, to be honest, considering you do get games each month as well. But then you only get the games for that month, I believe. So.
Oh, so is it timed?
I'm not sure. There's been a lot of speculation about whether,
even though I don't really care,
or you just lose the games if you don't pay your membership. It's one or the other. So it's like PlayStation Plus.
I'm not really like too bothered about that because for £10, or it's a very reasonable price. I know that, like, for however much you're paying for the year, it's cool compared to Xbox and PlayStation, which is charging like an arm and a leg. For sometimes the games each month are really shit. So if Nintendo are coming up serving classics like that you can't play anywhere else, then fair enough. Like, imagine just getting like, I don't know, Super Mario 64 one month. Like, you'd be happy, wouldn't you? So I don't know. We'll have to see. I kind of want to see some Phoenix Wright as well on the Switch because I just really love that franchise. F-Zero as well. That was sick back in the day. I loved F-Zero. I really like Wario as well. I want to see if they could do something with him.
I think they'll be saving that for probably next year.
Yeah.
But I do, again, I'm interested. If they could do like a Wario Party thing, then
yeah,
it's basically designed for a Wario Party game.
Oh, like, I loved it. You played the Wario games, innit? Like the little mini game ones.
Yeah, but it's
so cool.
It's like the console is designed for something like that. Like 1-2 Switch was basically like a tech demo, but some of those games could be in like a Wario game.
Definitely, yeah.
Like if they did release something like that, then I'd probably be down for getting that.
Definitely. So what do you think about Xbox? What are you expecting from them, Tom?
Xbox wise, I'm expecting a Halo announcement. I'm expecting something about Halo. Gears of War, I think that'll be like the two big things they focus on. I don't think there's much else. We might see more about some of the games that they've announced previously that haven't come out yet, such as Crackdown and a few games that are in early access on Steam that are signed over with Microsoft. I expect to maybe see. I think that's it. I don't expect much from them, to be honest.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
I kind of agree with you, but I do like Xbox indie games. They do have some good indie games with them sometimes. I think it was like last E3, they announced a lot, but they were also coming out on Windows, so I didn't really care that much.
Yeah, so everything will come out on Windows, which is fine with me.
Yeah, there's especially a sick one that I really love. It was like 3D pixel art. It was called The Last Night. Man, that game is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that one really thought, I was like, whoa, like, okay, this one is hard. So I do like Xbox indie exclusives, but it's not an exclusive because I have, like, you know, I could get it myself. So I don't really know why they'll be announcing this. And they also announced a lot of timed exclusives, so hopefully that's just not a thing. They just need to focus on getting some new first-party IPs out there and just focusing on making great games, because it's looking real dry for Xbox at the moment. And they should try and maybe go about redoing Crackdown 3 because the game looks really outdated. But that's about it. That's all I'm expecting from Xbox. I'm a Sony fanboy. Sorry.
Well, like, speaking of Sony and stuff, H1Z1 had like open beta this week on PS4, and that racked up like 1.5 million players in their open beta. So I think that still shows that the Battle Royale scene is not dying anytime soon. And like, especially on console. So PUBG was like the big thing, and then Fortnite, but like H1Z1 was always a big thing on PC. I think people have been waiting for this to come to console. But H1Z1 is basically like the PUBG of Sony now. Like, PUBG's gone to Xbox, H1Z1 will come to PS4.
Yeah, and people are just going to play it on there. It's weird as well because obviously PlayerUnknown, or whatever his name is, he had a hand in creating both. So it's a bit weird, isn't it?
Well, I think H1Z1 was H1Z1 a mod off Armour?
He was a creative consultant on H1Z1. They brought him in because obviously he created the original Armour mod, which was DayZ.
Yeah.
So they brought him in to do H1Z1 creative consultancy, and then his contract ran out, and then he made PUBG.
I think we've discussed this before, but
yeah, we did this. Yeah, we did discuss it before.
It's interesting to see now, like, because obviously, we'll just quickly go over the fact that obviously Battlefield 5 is coming out, set in World War II. It looks sick. No Battle Royale or loot boxes in the game now, but apparently they're testing like a Battle Royale mode in development for after release. I think that game would work really well with Battle Royale. That's something I'd like to see. And then Black Ops 4 obviously is coming out, has no single player, and is basically multiplayer focused with, again, a Battle Royale mode. So come the end of the year, there's going to be a lot of Battle Royale games that are going to be out.
Yeah, and they're going to be mainstream Battle Royale games as well. That means they're going to be like the most polished version of a Battle Royale compared to like PUBG or like Fortnite, which are like free to play games.
Well, Fortnite's quite polished, but
Fortnite is polished. Yeah,
it's the fact that I'm just saying it's the pull of, do you want to play like COD Battle Royale? That's more of a pull to people. People are going to get COD anyway.
Yeah.
And they enjoy playing COD, so like a COD Battle Royale mode would be like possibly good for them.
Yeah.
I think we just have to wait and see. I do expect the market to be saturated with Battle Royale games come the end of the year, though.
Well, people are trying to call this a Fortnite killer, but I looked at the trailer and I don't think it's killing Fortnite.
I don't think Black Ops is going to kill Fortnite.
No, it's not, because when the Battlefield 5 trailer came out, I thought, that's it. It's done for Call of Duty, because this game looks way better.
That's what I mean. Ops. If anything was going to have a battle royale game mode that could beat Fortnite, it would be Battlefield, because that game looks insanely good. I know Battlefield 1 was good and it looked really good, but like they've took it to the next level with that trailer, because there was gameplay in that trailer. I'm not sure if it was pre-rendered gameplay, but there was gameplay in there, and there was shit going on everywhere during that gameplay. There was like 3 planes crashing at once and people like shooting at each other, and like, Tom,
it's insane. It's insane.
But it's the first time I've seen sort of gameplay from a game that's so intense like that. Like, I'm not a big FPS person, but I was watching that and I was like, this really interests me. Like, it's not only interesting in the fact that it looks really fun to play, but also the fact that like the technology behind that is insane. Like, to get that much stuff going on at that high, like high frame rate, and all those effects going on in the background at like high resolution.
That's the Frostbite engine, man. That shit is so heavy duty. Like, I don't know how they even get it to run. Like, it's insane what they can do with that engine. Also, it's the talent of the DICE team as well.
Yeah,
they're a very talented team. They are. And
I'm sort of happy that they're not going to have loot boxes and stuff in this game, because I do feel like Battlefront 2, when it was released, was a good game.
Oh yeah,
and it was let down by the fact that people were being greedy above the developers. So they worked all that time to make a really good game, and it was shut down. But now they're applying that to something different. And I know there's like different teams that are working on it, obviously within DICE, but it's still DICE. And then like they should get recognition for this game now, rather the fact that they didn't get recognition before because it was overshadowed by everything.
Yeah, it was, and it was really sad, to be honest, because, you know, Battlefront could have been a good game. It's just the same as when Battlefront 1 came out and it had no single player. The developers didn't want to do that, but, you know, it's EA, like, they just want money, so it's just kind of sad. Well, oh yeah, I forgot to ask, just quickly, we'll just move on after this, what are you expecting from Sony?
I'm expecting the four games. I'm not expecting anything else. I'm expecting basically what's lined up, like the 4 big games they're focused on.
Yeah.
A bit of gameplay from some other stuff, maybe like a Bloodborne announcement, Devil May Cry. Obviously, I'm interested in that new remaster of what that could be, but I don't think it's going to be like too shocking. I just feel like they're going to focus on quality instead of quantity.
There's rumours that it's going to be Metal Gear Solid 1, you know.
Yeah, I've seen that, and if so, then I'm all for that.
If so, I'm going to get someone to buy it for me because I don't support Konami, and but. Yeah, I'm expecting exactly the same as well. Maybe they're going to show off some PlayStation VR stuff too. I can see them.
They'll show off some PlayStation VR stuff.
Exploring that.
But I don't want them to do what they did before with some of their conferences and literally just focus on VR, because whilst it's good, like it's not as interesting for me personally, or that many people, to be honest. I don't think.
Yeah, like, not many people have VR.
It's nice to see it, but I don't think it's at a stage where they need to be pushing it as much as they do. Like, next console generation, like, feel free to push it. But this one, you sort of like, I mean, you could have a good PC and VR runs like shit still. So, I know it's different hardware and stuff, but from people that have had a PSVR, it's not meant to be like the best VR experience in the world.
No.
And I understand why they're pushing it still, but like I feel like next generation, if they want to focus on that, do it then, and end this generation with like the interest in these brand new, like massive games that are coming out, either in series or new IPs. Because I'm excited for Days Gone, Spider-Man, Last of Us, Bloodborne 2. And I can't remember what the other game was.
Oh, are you not going to mention Death Stranding?
Kingdom Hearts 3. Death Stranding.
Oh man, Death Stranding gameplay is coming and it's going to be insane.
There's just too much that I think I'd rather them just, like I said before, just show the gameplay. That's what I'm expecting from them. I'm expecting quality, and I'm happy with that. Like, I'll have an hour and a half of just gameplay for games that I haven't seen before, and I'll take that. I don't need anything new. I don't need loads of announcements and stuff. I just need that, and that'll do me.
I want games and all of them. Maybe a couple surprises would be nice, but they said that they are doing something very different this year. So let's just see how different it is going to be, because it might just be something that we've never seen before. But yeah, that's about it really. Also, God of War got 5.2 million in its first month, which is insane for a game. Whereas Horizon Zero Dawn took a whole year to get 7 million. So let that sink in about how many sales a game got in the first month compared to Horizon Zero Dawn. It's insane, and it's a massive milestone for Sony and the God of War franchise as well, which I still need to get because
I still haven't got it yet.
Me how sick it is.
So that could be like 5.2 million in 2.
Yeah, no.
I do think that game will sell probably 10 million in a year, if not more.
Yeah.
The thing is, obviously, the first month of a game, it's always going to be higher than after. But
yeah,
it won't rival GTA or anything like that. But it's good to see a game like that getting recognition. And a lot of people being more interested to play it. And I think again, that's solely down to Sony having so many good exclusives and really pushing it on a console.
Yeah,
which Xbox aren't doing. And
exactly.
That's why they're losing this sort of battle, even if they've got the superior hardware now. Like, it still doesn't matter if you haven't got the content on your system.
And you know what as well? They went back to the drawing board of God of War and totally changed the game mechanics and made it into a new game for it matched the generation, if you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. Like, they didn't even just do the same thing again. They've already done that 3 times over. Why are they going to do it again? So they was like, all right, we need to, what climate are we in right now? Okay, so we're going to do the game this way, which is, it's insane. So that's the game section. I know it was pretty lengthy, but there was a lot of things for us to get over, and we had to do our E3 pre-speculations because we've got a few good things coming up for all of our listeners to do with E3 over the week, which we will discuss towards the end of the podcast and tell you about. Swiftly moving on to films and TV. Lando, a Star Wars story. So Lando Calrissian is going to get his own standalone film. Donald Glover wants to write and direct it. What's your thoughts on this, Tom?
So obviously, Solo came out 2 days ago now. I haven't got the chance to see it yet, but
neither have I.
It looks pretty gritty and it looks really good. I haven't looked at reviews or anything because I don't want to see. I say I don't want to see spoilers. It's not really that spoiler heavy because it's the thing, but at the same time, I want to go in with like a fresh mind and not read someone else's opinion on it. Yeah. Lando having his own movie, like I'm down for that. I liked Donald Glover's portrayal of Lando Calrissian. I'm a big Donald Glover fan, so of course I'm going to like that. But he does like come across with the same charisma and stuff that I would expect someone to like. I think if anyone was going to play Lando, like that's the right character.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure about the fact that, like, so you've heard that he's going to be writing this and directing it. Like, I'm down with that.
Oh no, he said that. What's called it? He said that he wants to, but I don't think he's going to.
Yeah, see, like, I'd be down with that. But then I've heard that the guy that is in the line to direct or something wants to make him pansexual because he has a weird persona about the way he plays the character.
No, apparently in Solo, it is confirmed that he is pansexual. Like, that is it. Like, he's pansexual, which I don't have a problem with at all.
Yeah.
But I understand that it is kind of hard, because if you look back at the original trilogy of how Lando is, he seemed like a little bit of like, you know, kind of like, you know, he's good with the ladies type deal. You know what I mean? So
yeah, this is like,
it gets confusing.
This is the thing that where it gets confusing, and it's hard for an existing series to carry something over like that and change it up so much, because you're doing a backstory from a character that people have already known for 40, 50 years.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're just telling us that his sexuality's changed. Like, it's understandable in the current climate that something like that would be a thing. But I feel like you're taking an old character and sort of doing that. I'm not sure how, not happy, but like how well it works. I think if you were going to do that, do it with like a new character, but don't break like an existing old character, especially one that's so pivotal to the whole series in general. I'm not sure. I don't know. I think I don't know if you have the same opinions or not, but it's definitely something that needs to be considered maybe in the future to not affect existing characters in some way like that.
Yeah.
And see, like moving on from that, it was announced that the director of Logan, obviously like the Wolverine Logan story, is going to direct a Boba Fett original film as well.
Oh, please.
So that sounds like
they're not going to make it. I know they're not going to make it rated R or 15 or 18 yet, but I just hope they can make it like a 15, because you know how sick that would be.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like, if it's like Logan but with Boba Fett, like obviously not the same thing, but like the same concept as such. Like I'd be down for that.
Oh man, that'd be so great. Imagine like finding out like Boba Fett and like his story, and it's gonna be so sick. Like, there is some good and bad things that have come out from this Disney Star Wars merger. Obviously, we get new Star Wars content, and we're getting it a lot faster than we was before. But at the same time, like, you know, as you said, like the whole thing, like they're starting to mess with the timeline and the story a lot as well. Which obviously they got rid of half the story, like they uncanonized half the story in order to make certain things fit in with the new story that they're trying to bring in. So, we'll just have to see, but a Boba Fett from Logan director, that's going to be hard. So, I'm excited. I know we're kind of like, we're not rushing through this section, but we kind of are. You watch Westworld?
I mean, this is going to be like possibly spoiler heavy because we might get carried away. So if you're not interested in Westworld, or you haven't watched, like, skip forward 10 minutes or skip forward 15 minutes if you don't feel safe. Like, so I'm just going to go straight in. Like, we were discussing this earlier, and episode 1 and 2, I think we both felt were underwhelming. You more so than me. Yeah. And I didn't watch episode 3 for ages, and then I watched it the other week. And I started episode 3 and I was like, okay, what? Like, what's this? Like, I was not expecting that. It just come out of nowhere, like, there's this new world that isn't a rumoured one. It just sort of so-called happened to be this world that they found themselves in.
Mm.
And it seems like everything is going on in the other worlds as well. And we were discussing earlier as well about, like, the timelines and stuff, and you aren't really into the timelines that much. And I'm not like all for it. I like what it's trying to do, but I can see how it can get confusing.
Yeah.
But I personally think, like, from the last 3 episodes, this season for me so far is like, I'm enjoying it a lot more than I was last season. I don't know if that's because I haven't watched last season in a long time. Mm-hmm. And obviously it's got a different vibe to last season as well, because you already know a lot of the stuff now. So last season was more like you were trying to work stuff out. This season it's like there's a few surprises, but it's more action packed.
I think what like this season is like, okay, we've got all the pieces to the puzzle now. Now we just got to put it together. It's like that type of thing, really.
Well, do we ever know what was in the center of that maze?
I don't really know what they mean by the center.
It's like a metaphor, wasn't it? Or
it's almost like a metaphor. Like you need to get into the maze, but then I think it means like, you know, their brains.
Yeah.
How like they work. I think it's something to do with that, but also. There is something in the. I think there is something in the middle of Westworld because Dolores said that they were building a weapon in it.
Yeah.
So I think that's what they were talking about.
This is the thing where it's like is the weapon and stuff obviously like the young so obviously Mr. Delos. You know, spoilers again, but like. We found out who he was and like what was happening with him and why obviously they're trying to get into the park and whatever, and protect their assets. Like, is that the weapon or is there something else going on? And there seems to be like, I wouldn't say like the government because it's not the government, but there's quite a corporate sort of overhang in this series.
Yeah, and we're starting to find out a lot more about the outside world. And where the actual parks are situated, which has something to do with the Chinese government.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of like, as you said, a lot of corporate political things ongoing with the entirety of Westworld and the other parks that have been announced. I think the other one's called Eastworld, which is like an Indian-inspired park, which is really, it just came out of nowhere, to be honest. I didn't really expect to see that.
Yeah, I didn't expect to see it, but I'm happy with it. I like that world. Like,
yeah, I think it's a cool world. But at the same time, we're starting to find out that is it Peter Abernathy?
Yeah, Peter Abernathy.
Peter Abernathy. He's like, the key to everything for some reason. And my speculation on it is he is is his name Mr. Delos?
Yeah.
I don't know what his name. Yeah, he is like the original owner, like
yeah, he is
recreated. I feel like that's who he is. Which is really weird because we're starting to find out that we think the hosts are real people. They're not just robots or cyborgs or, you know, androids that actually are people. Like, these are people that have been recreated from real humans, and now we're starting. Now the lines are starting to get a little bit blurred.
Nah, I don't think.
Is it?
I don't think that's the thing, is it? I thought that that's like an experiment. He's an experiment, and they didn't get it right still.
But I think that's what they were trying to do. They were trying to get people's consciousness back into a new body, so they were dead. Like they've dying or they have a terminal illness. That's what I got from it. And they've somehow tried to get them to go back to cross over into a life so they can still carry on what they want to do with their wife and their kids and stuff like that. That's what they were trying to do. But obviously it failed and didn't work at all. So whether that, because some of the hosts are starting to have memories of things that they shouldn't be having memories of the outside world. How is that possible? If they've never been out there, it's obviously meaning that it's somebody else's brain or head that's inside of them.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. As I said, I don't know how much, you know, what's the explanation behind it all.
I don't think the show can be explained. It just
no. It can't be.
You just sort of go deeper into it, and you find yourself getting lost and really having to sort of explain what's going on.
Yeah.
But it's good nonetheless. Like, also the addition of Shogun World, like I enjoyed that. That was a good episode. We knew that was coming anyway.
Yeah.
But it was nice to see it there, and it's nice to see that there's like so they have like the same. So this is the thing, like when you're saying that these are people that have been like remade or whatever, I don't think that's the case. I do think these are still people that have been programmed, but they have like an alter ego for each one in each different park. So we saw in the Shogun world, like the bandits had like their Shogun bandit versions.
Yeah, well,
and they're not meant to see each other. So when they do see each other, because they're basically programmed to do the same thing,
they get confused.
It's like confusing. Yeah. And obviously we've seen Maeve doing some weird shit. Like I know what's going on there, but she's on something.
She's got some like telepathic powers to like talk to the host somehow. I don't know how she's doing it, but she's like some type of like higher host being, which is that's what I'm saying, which is leading me to believe that there's something more going on that we know. Like there's something else that we're missing still, which is obviously it's not even halfway through this. Well, is it halfway through the season? It's got 10 episodes.
Yeah, I think that might be more than 10.
Is this the half? No, as I was saying, I don't think it's halfway yet.
No.
So there's so much more to still be explained.
Well, it's the thing. I think that, like, rumor-wise for me, I think that she's, because obviously she's messed around with a code or got other people to do that. I think that she might be, like, in the system somehow and being able to control people through that. Like, you don't know if there's a break in the system where she can gain control over people.
I don't know. I think
she had voice commands and then they didn't work, but then she somehow can access their mind.
I think it's because of the type of character, host she is as well. Because I remember the scientist guy, the guy who writes the stories. He said that she's given multiple languages because she's the like the head madam of like a prostitution house. So she has to have all of the language dialects. I'm not sure how many hosts have that, but she can speak multiple languages. But if you noticed, the others couldn't speak Japanese, so she could. So it was quite weird to see that. But then also my theory that that these are not real people, but very much maybe consciously are based on real people is they've definitely been gathering DNA samples and they've been gathering data on not hosts, on people. So that's what I am starting to speculate, that the hosts are based upon real people. Maybe they're not real people, but they are based upon real people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that theory is more valid than the previous one, and it would make sense with all the, like, if they're trying to make it current and link it some way, like, data protection is massive at the moment, and that would definitely be a thing that they could link it to. Like, obviously, you're not going to cross over because it's not set in the same, like, universal time frame as the current world we live in, like some shows. But to make it current and have people interested in it and discussing it, like, that is a thing as well. Yeah, it's also a very common theme with sort of, I wouldn't like, I'd say cyberpunkish things or like sci-fi things. So where people have the sort of overlord, is to say, that controls all your data and can clone you. So it could definitely be something that they're going down.
Yeah, I definitely think that as well. That's why I think that is the more. I think that is the more valid thing. I think that is definitely how I feel. Yeah, that's about it really. Westworld. I'm not feeling this season as much, but now I'm talking about it, I might go back and watch some of the episodes, because that's what Tom did recommend, to go back and watch some of the episodes, and I might have a different view on it. Because now that I've actually spoken to you about it, I think I understand. Maybe it's just because I haven't had anyone to discuss it with, because I know you haven't had a chance to watch it. Yeah, but I have.
I did also start watching the first season again the other night. Just out of chance. I only got halfway through the first episode, but it was different to when I first watched it. Like I'm looking at that in a different way now to how I watched it the first time round. Even though I watched it the first time around more than once, like I'm looking at it still in a different way. So I'm not trying to say like you need to go back and do that, like, but obviously a lot's changed since then, and there might be things that you can pick up on since then because we know that the show's designed in that way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, okay, cool. Anyway, Westworld, go and watch it if you haven't watched it because it is a great series, and they are gearing up to do 5 seasons. So we're just gonna have to see how this all plays out. Moving on to music, we're just gonna do a quick rundown of the releases that came out this week. Pusha T released an album called Daytona. Had a very controversial Whitney Houston bathroom album art.
I saw how much Kanye paid to get that art as well. Like,
yeah, he paid $85,000 to get the artwork, but it's very controversial, and I do understand people's views on why it is because Whitney Houston is a legend, rest in peace, and she had a very bad drug problem. But what Pusha T raps about, he sells drugs to black people. You know, it's blurring the line of being a superstar and having a drug problem, and you know, being black. I understand what they did with the album art. It's controversial, it's shocking, but it's also genius and brilliant. So if you interpret it in that way, like, I understand why you would, because, you know, some people, you know, they love Whitney Houston in it, and I understand it is disrespectful, and I feel like maybe Kanye should have considered Whitney Houston's family first, because the picture, he didn't even pay $85K to Whitney Houston's family, he paid it to a tabloid newspaper, which I kind of feel a little bit weird about him doing that, you know?
Yeah, that's like I was going to say undercutting. It's not undercutting people because, I mean, obviously they're not getting paid, so it technically is. But at the same time, it's like, it's pretty disrespectful to use a news source that, I mean, tabloids aren't the best for caring about people's privacy and stuff. So
exactly, and coming from Kanye, who
constantly moans about stuff.
Yeah, exactly. He's coming for the running with the paparazzi. It's a bit, you know, it's a bit weird to, you know, see him do that. But the music itself is really good, and it fueled on a debate which we will talk about soon. A$AP Rocky released Testing. Finally, it is as experimental as I expect it to be,
and it's good.
It's a good album. It is album. Really good. Tyler released a quick throwaway track called 435. It was sick. Teased a collab of sandals he's about to come out with. I think I'm gonna have to cop. And Drake released a new single called I'm Upset, which was a follow-up to a diss to Pusha T, which we'll get into in a minute. And also Shawn Mendes dropped his new album, which is titled Shawn Mendes. I wasn't really going to listen to it, but Tom's going to listen to it. Some of the tracks are all right. You know, I ain't going to front. I ain't going to front on the kid.
Some of them are not my sort of music, and
I wish he went down the Lost in Japan route, because that's
So some of them are like more catered towards that, and then some of them are more catered towards like an Ed Sheeran sound, I'd say. Like you could sort of see the influences in certain areas throughout, but
I was pretty critical at first, and I should have been more open. And I was more like, Karen.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it's more of like a relaxing mainstream album. It's not like you wouldn't expect like what you'd expect from Testing to be from that album. And I still went into Testing, and I was like, this is hard. I listened to Shawn Mendes' album, I was like, it's good, like I like it, but it's not good. It's not like a Frank album or something. Yeah. Like it's not that good. It's just like a good album, and he's doing something different, which I like to see. Yeah,
exactly. I understand what you mean. Like, yeah, and I said I want you to be more open-minded about it, and, you know, actually give it a listen and stuff, because it's good to know all types of music and not like trying to marginalize our audience or whatever. And, you know, everyone likes to listen to different things. With that being said, let's get down to the diss. So on the track Infrared, Pusha T sent some really strong shots towards Drake, and not even 24 hours was passed, and Drake got back at him on the classic OVO Sound Radio.
Can I just point out as well, like, the quality of that track from Drake within that time was, like, possibly better than his single that he released.
Yeah, it's way better than I'm Upset. I don't know where he's going with I'm Upset, but Duppy Freestyle was hard. I was like, all right, Drake, you need to snap this hard, like, less than 24 hours. And then it's just so many business moves, like the way how he sent the invoice to Pusha T, and it's fucking insane. Like, I just love it. Like, I just love shit like this. You think Pusha's gonna respond?
I can't see it.
You can't see it.
I can see his album being the thing. Like, if anyone is going to respond, it's going to be Kanye, not Pusha T.
Yeah, wow. I think that Duppy Freestyle was more to Kanye anyway. There was only a couple lines to Pusha T in there, but it's definitely more towards Kanye. And if this is all true about Kanye, then I'm starting to get a little bit, I'm starting to lose a little bit of faith in Kanye now, because he's seeming to turn out to be not a very favorable, not the person that I thought he was. Do you know what I mean? Like, if this is true, like the way
but also we've got to work out the fact here that, like, both these guys have got albums coming out within the next month. Like, they're gonna stir some shit up if they get the chance to, because the publicity for that, for both of them.
I hope they're just not. Yeah, I hope this ain't no fucking pub stunt though, because it's just gonna piss me off if, like, in the end, we're all good now. You know what I'm saying? But it's looking like it's really real, and
no, I still think it could be real, but I still think they could both do it with publicity in mind.
Yeah, well,
because Kanye would have known that Pusha T's coming out, like, now, and obviously he's worked with him and stuff.
But that's what Drake was saying. Drake was saying, well, I helped you so much. You let Pusha T hop on your beats to diss me. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you know how much I actually helped you out in terms of, like, Pablo and other things. And this is how you're gonna repay me, basically. Like, so I'm interested to see how it is, and I'm interested to see if Kanye is gonna drop on June 1st. I feel like it looks like it's coming through, because Pusha May 25th it came out. Kanye June 1st. Is it gonna come out? I don't know.
It would make sense. I mean, I think is it his album that's coming out first, or is it his album with Kid Cudi that's coming out?
It's June 1st, his album, and then Kid Cudi June 15th.
Okay.
I think it's June 15th, Kid Cudi, or was it like June 9th?
I thought it was 8th. It's either 8th or 15th. I think it's one of those Fridays.
Yeah, it's June 8th is the Kid See Ghost, and then June 15th is the Nas album, and then the last album is Tiana Taylor's album, I think.
I mean, it's lining up to be a good month again for music.
Oh yeah, of course. Obviously, we got Drake dropping Scorpion, which I think is going to be his most important album to date.
So I'm not too sure about this. Like, it's going to be big when it comes out. Obviously, it's probably going to break records. I know that. I don't know whether God's Plan is going to be on the album. So this is the thing, right? When Testing come out, Bad Company wasn't on Testing, was it?
No. But saying that though, there was a very similar song with Block Boy ad-libs on there. So I'm thinking, did Rocky put that kind of song out for us to be like, okay, we like this, and this about the song, but we don't like this, and this? Then he went and made a different song with those elements. Is that what Testing means?
Who knows? That's very, like, meta.
It is very meta. It is meta as hell, but I was really thinking into it the other day.
Who knows? But, I mean, like, I wouldn't put it past him.
Because where was 5 Stars as well? 5 Star wasn't on there with Dram. That was out. ASAP Forever had Kid Cudi on it and T.I.
Yeah.
That wasn't the original version. So I don't know. He just teased more new music is coming on the way with a Testing film. So,
I mean, he has been working on it for a long time, so I'm going to guess there's a lot of stuff that got chucked away or put on the back burner. And I think then he may have released some of that stuff without features as singles to see what was the best way. So, I mean, testing could be that could be what it means.
I
literally testing out a new sound.
He is. Like, it's very experimental. Yeah, it's very experimental.
I want to point out as well, the intro on that album is like insanely good.
Oh, yo, can you imagine him coming out to that at a concert? How insane would that be, Tom?
I mean, it came on and I was like, okay.
Yeah.
I was like 30 seconds in, I was like, to everyone I know, I was like, have you listened to the new A$AP Rocky album? And they're like, no, but I was like, you should listen, it's really good. Like, oh, what's your best song? I'm like, don't know, I'm only 30 seconds in, but it's good.
So I'm only 30 seconds in some distorted bass.
Yeah, but you could just tell that it was going to be good. Like, you could tell by an intro if an album's going to be pretty good or not.
Is this the way how he did it? Is that I was like, whoa. Oh, I was like, okay, this is some new sounds we ain't heard before. Yeah, it's crazy.
And then the Frank outro, this on the playlist this week. Like, the Frank outro. And then the uncredited Frank, it's like, feature on...
on Brother Man. French Montana.
I was listening to it, and then all I heard was this voice. I was like, that's Frank. That's definitely Frank.
Yeah, it was fucking insane. The album is great. It is a very hard listen, though. I would say it's not for mainstream ears. Like, you can't. I don't think you can jump.
I don't think you'd be able to sit and listen to it with, like, in the garden or something. Like, you have to be in the right mood to want to listen to it.
Yeah, I would say definitely headphones as well.
Yeah,
it's a very intense album when you really think about, like, on its surface. Moving into a more serious topic now, which is probably going to be our last one before we talk about E3. We've spoken about Brockhampton a lot on this podcast. We love the band. Probably one of the best boy bands to come out for a while, doing something different and new to all the other boy bands. And one of their most important members, I would think, who did some very solid rap verses.
I mean, I'd possibly go to say, like, top 3 important members. Like,
he's
very influential in the whole band. He was on the last 3 album covers.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. He was on the last 3 album covers. He has been Amir Van has been kicked out of Brockhampton, and I understand their stance on it, because I feel like Brockhampton, as they are, I'm trying to obviously be I'm trying to make sure I don't say anything, because I don't want to, the victims and everything, it's all about them. I'm thinking about them and how they feel. Brockhampton as a whole, it's supposed to be like this kind of, like, Kevin dubbed it as like a safe space for everyone. Doesn't matter if you're black, white, Asian, Latin, doesn't matter where you're from, female, male, trans, I don't know. Like, he just said he just wants their music to appeal to everyone. So for them to keep Amir in the band would be hard. So for them to kick him out must have been hard, because they're all a family, aren't they? And
well, I don't know if you've seen the video of them crying on stage on Saturday night.
Yeah, I seen them crying on stage. I thought people were saying some of the fans were like, "Oh, you made them cry," but no, I think they were literally crying because they knew it was over. Like, they had to kick Amir out because it was just the right thing to do.
Well, they were crying when it was his verse. Like,
yeah,
the thing is, like, Amir's known Kevin since high school.
Yeah,
and a lot of these guys have. So obviously the band has only been formed at like 2015, but a lot of these guys have known each other since.
Oh no,
before then. Like, it's been going since basically 2010, near enough.
Yeah, they formed,
but under different names.
They formed on. No, they actually didn't. They were always Brockhampton. They formed on KTT, which is a forum that me and Tom go on. I go on more than Tom, but Tom does go on there sometimes. They formed on there, and I actually seen them form. Like, I seen all these people come together, and it's insane how far they've all come. HK is the guy that inspired me to get into Photoshop and design covers, and that's the reason why our covers are so great, because we took a passion to graphic design and we always wanted to push ourselves, and he always does amazing work. Yeah, for them to kick him out, seeing as they've been friends for so long, I think they just got a lot of pressure from fans.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of pressure from people, and the fact that what they're trying to stand for. You should. And I think they would have had to discuss it between themselves, which is why they've been so silent.
Yeah,
like, I personally don't think that there's not that much evidence supporting the things that have happened. Like, I'll always stand by someone's innocent until proven guilty, and like, I understand they still have to do this for the sake of the band and to keep an image up and stuff like that. But like, I'm not sure if there is evidence I haven't seen or stuff.
Well, in their statement, the statement that they brought out with, they said that they've been lied to. They said they've been lied to by Amir.
Mm-hmm.
So that's leading me to believe that, yes, what he's doing is true.
But this is why it's leading me to believe that they've discussed it whilst being silent.
Yeah. This means that, like, what Amir has done is true. So this is leading me to believe that he's done some foul shit. And I know it's like a blurred line and things like that, but, you know, I always got to think, you know, when shit like this happens, it's not a fact of, like, you can't just jump on one side or the other. Yeah, I know that everyone wants the facts and stuff like that, but, you know, sometimes you just got to just think to yourself, what is the best thing to say? His apology wasn't the greatest. He hasn't come out to say anything else.
Yeah, he's not said anything since.
Yeah, it's a little bit weird. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but I also think it's embarrassing for him, like, in that position, especially if, like, nothing has happened and they still had to kick him out. Like,
but
he can't come out and openly hate people that he's, like, really good friends with.
Yeah, exactly.
So
at the same,
go on.
Karen. I was gonna say, at the same time, I don't think nothing has happened. Something definitely has happened, because they wouldn't kick him out of the band unless something has happened. They must have discussed this, and they must have got some type of, like, something must have been said, like, that's happened, because even Kevin Abstract went on Instagram Live and said, "I'm sorry for how this has been. Like, we knew about some things that were going on, and, you know, we didn't even say it." And I think it's a little bit cowardly as well of none of the band members to say anything. Like, I think some, like, you know, they pride themselves on being so free speech and free thinking that none of them have said anything, which is a little bit weird. Are we just expecting to just listen to their new album, or they're going to address this on the new album?
Well, it's been delayed now, hasn't it?
Yeah, which is leading me to believe that they're going to record everything again.
Well, I don't think they have a choice. Like, depending on how they record stuff, I don't think they have a choice. Because Amir's an influential part of that band. Like, there's very rare a song without Amir in it at some point.
Yeah.
And if he's not, like, it's hard to replace that. So
yeah,
they need to go back, and they even just need to re-record the whole album.
I said as well. Yeah, I said, maybe it's not time for Amir to be in the limelight. Like, I can't see why he can't still, I don't know, write and produce for them. He doesn't necessarily have to put his name or anything on it if he really does want to still be involved in the music side of things. But it's just not a good look for Brockhampton.
That's why I think they've done it, for the fact that it's, I mean, we're reaching our point where it's like, we're not saying that, like, he should be here and he should just, like, be washed of it and should forget about it, because if something did happen, like, obviously you don't want that person to be there, because it's a criminal offence to do the things that he's done, if it's true.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, if not, then, like, he has now gone out of this band for the sake of that, and it leads you to, like, a point where what really can his future be? And you've also got to take into account, like, he's 21, Like you make mistakes still when you're young, and this isn't like that recent stuff. Like it's recent, but it's not. It's to the point where he's still at an age where he's growing up. And I know people are saying like you should do that, but like you get famous and you get money, and if you're that age, you don't know until you're at that age.
Yeah, I know what you're trying to say, but that's...
And I'm not saying like I'm not supporting anything there with those statements. I'm just saying like you have to also think about all this other stuff that like happens.
Yeah, I do understand, but then again, you should also not you as a band should not portray yourself as these people who are like a safe space for everyone and a safe space for women when you've got a guy that has been, multiple sources have come out and said that he's abusive and he's been doing foul play with a minor. You know what I'm saying? Like it just blurs the line too much where you just think to yourself, well, you know, that's not on. You know what I'm saying? So kudos to Brockhampton for sorting out the issue. I know it must have been hard. Hopefully we get some more light in the situation.
It's a sad moment. They've had to cancel their tour and come back.
Yeah,
we were hoping to maybe go see him at some point. Whether that'll be a thing now, I'm not sure. And also, it might not be the same experience because Amir's not in the band.
It's just going to be, it might just be not that great. But
I'm down. So we'll end it on like a positive thing. I'm down for Puppy to come out and they re-record it and it come out because it can still be a great album. They've got a lot of talent left in the 13 people left in that group. Like a lot of talent. And they're definitely going to produce something good.
Exactly, I'm not down anything. I'm not down anything about them, as they can still produce something great. You know, Amir didn't make them. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it is sad, but, you know, at the same time, he has to be held accountable for his actions, and he has to go and get help. You know what I'm saying? Like, if this is what he truly is like, he needs to get help. He needs to make sure he's in a better mind state. Who knows? I know it might be a bit controversial and problematic, but maybe he might return to the band one day. Who knows?
I doubt it.
You don't know, but
I do believe that he may be in another group or go solo in the future.
Yeah,
I don't doubt that for a second.
He could, but as I said, we're gonna have to see how that all goes. But yeah, as I said, you know, we don't condone none of that shit. Support to the victims. I hope everything gets sorted out. You know, I just hope it just goes well for them in the foreseeable future. It was a bit heavy to end on that on the podcast, but we've got some great news though. E3 schedule. Me and Tom did a little talking. I'm going to give our thoughts after every E3 conference, and we are going to be live streaming it for the first time as well. So that's going to be really exciting. We're going to be also sitting in a room together. It's also going to be really exciting as well. That means the chemistry will probably be
this will be the first live podcast we would have recorded. In the same studio at the same time. Yeah, without editing and everything.
So everything could be a lot more easier, smoother.
We're hoping to see that it'll be more fluid and hoping that we can get stuff done nicely. And it is good to go forward for the future of the podcast. This is what we wanted to do, and this is the perfect time for us to test something like this out. Yeah. But we'll run down like the conference times. So EA is at 7 p.m. British Standard Time. Microsoft is at 9 p.m. British Standard Time. Bethesda's at 2:30 a.m. British Standard Time. I should point out that's on Saturday the 9th of June at 7 p.m. and then Sunday the 10th of June at 9 p.m. and 2:30 a.m. And then on Monday we have Square Enix at 6 p.m. British Standard Time, Ubisoft at 9 p.m. BST, Sony at 2 a.m. BST on the Tuesday morning, and then Nintendo at 5 p.m. BST on the Tuesday afternoon. Now, we'll be covering sort of all those conferences with our thoughts after we've watched the conference straight away, going live.
Mm-hmm.
But we will update Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We will probably do stories and possibly even like an Instagram live to show when we're actually going live, and for you to come and watch at the link provided. Well, I say watch, listen, because we're not actually going to be having any video. We will just be streaming straight from Spreaker.
Yeah.
But we will look at possibly linking it to YouTube and doing a YouTube stream with the audio at the same time, if you do want to listen via another platform. But yeah, we're excited for that, and we hope that you sort of follow all the updates and really sort of are interested in what's going to come from that, and tune into our first sort of live episodes, as we would really appreciate it. It's a big milestone and a big step for us.
Yeah, exactly. It would be amazing. And I actually really can't wait for us to do that, because it's going to be such a great moment, because, you know, it's the biggest event in gaming history, you know, so, well, not gaming history, but, you know, of the year. But it's going to be massive, though, and we've come a long way, and we're still going strong. Massive thanks to all of our supporters, wherever you're listening from. We're so grateful for the support, and, you know, keep following us on our social medias. We've got some exciting things that we're still working on, wanting to bring to you, to, you know, just to make the user experience even better. Yeah, I couldn't ask for any more, really. And we're really happy with the direction that the podcast is going in. Yeah, I think that's about it, really. Got any final thoughts, Tom?
Not really, no. I think we've covered everything. Just really hope that everyone is as interested in E3 as we are next week. Can you tune in, even if you're not that bothered about the conferences, just to hear our opinions on the conferences and our rundowns.
Yeah,
we'd really appreciate that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and that's about it, really. So yeah, this is episode 8. This is the last episode before E3. So for now, we'll just be, you know, still bringing out the playlist every week. Follow that on Spotify and Apple Music. We're still trying to maybe get it elsewhere, but we haven't really found a platform that we can really put it on. But YouTube Music has been launched now, so we might look at that for the future. That's about it, isn't it, really, Tom?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you for listening, guys. This is 808s and Joysticks, episode 8. And see you when E3 is on.
Saturday, the 9th of June.
Yes. Thanks for listening.
7 p.m.
Yes, 7 p.m. Thanks for listening.